Well, we're back in the shop today, kind of a crummy day outside. It's really warm, just nothing but fog and kind of a misty type weather. If you look outside, you can see it's not exactly a really great day to be outside, I suppose. So we're going to be back in the shop here today doing a little bit of work. So we're back on the loader project here. We got done cleaning out North Barn the other day. The 766 ended up going off to the doctor. It sounds like that's a bowl gear, and I think you said the bowl pinion, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to be what's wrong with that tractor, unfortunately, but I guess it could have been worse, so it's off getting fixed. So we're back in here today working on this. We got this thing mounted up the other week. It worked out pretty nice, really. So now we're in the process of kind of doing some hydraulic work here. We want this loader to function basically off of a joystick. So when you want to go up and curl and dump and whatever you want to do, you want it to be off of one stick and not have to have two separate valves. And then the thing that kind of complicates this is we want to add a third function. So this is largely going to be used for running our tie grabber for the hay system. So you need a hydraulic outlet up front here somewhere on the boom so that you can run that pincher on that bucket and also the hay hooks curl with that. So did a little bit of digging around, had a hard time finding the valve there for a little bit, but I think I found a perfect thing, and that's this valve right here. So you got the joystick op here. That'll run these two sections here. One is for the up and down, the other one's for the curling of the bucket. Then this section over here and that valve right there is to run a third function like a grapple. So this thing, I hope, is going to work out pretty nice. I stumbled upon this thing online. This is sold by, I think, Shoreline Parts. Not sponsored by them or anything. I'm just letting you guys know, so if you ever need one. Yeah, Shoreline Parts. This is out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota is where this thing comes from. But you can see how this thing's designed here. You got this joystick here that'll run these two sections. That's for your loader raise and bucket and all that fun stuff. And then this one over here is for your grapple. And this will be run off of one remote of the tractor. You'll have a hydraulic feed and a hydraulic return on this thing. So this is going to work out pretty nice for this project. We wanted this thing to be really user-friendly because we're going to be using this thing a lot. Dad is largely going to be using this, but I will as well. But the objective we're going to do here is we made this little plate the other day out of just some junk stuff we had laying around. This is going to be the mount for that valve, and we're going to mount that thing up here on the right-hand post of this loader. We'll probably mount it center line of here because this is where all your hydraulics plumb in. What Dad's working on right now is we're taking this one hydraulic valve off of the back of this tractor. This was an add-on. If you look underneath the tractor, you can see the valve's new. There's new bolts under it and everything. The farm that we purchased this thing off of was a small hay farm, and I think he probably used this for running his hay bind, or maybe a rake. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's kind of why that valve was added. Most of these only come with one single valve, but the nicest one has two. So we're going to take one of them, run it forward underneath the floorboard to right about where Dad's knee is. Down in this section somewhere, we might have it sticking upright to have a quick connect, or underneath. We haven't 100% ironed that out yet, but we're going to make it so when we want to disconnect the loader, the joystick control stays with the loader, the hydraulic quick coupler stays with the tractor, and so we can just pull them bolts after we've, of course, raised this thing and back out of it after the hydraulics and everything are disconnected. So it's going to hopefully be a real quick on and off of this thing. So that's what we're working on today. We're going to do a little bit more work here, get this valve mounted up, and then we're going to head off to the Parker store and see Wayne, and we're going to get some hydraulic lines made.
We are moving the hoses that went to the rear to the front, which meant turning the JIC elbows, there's a 45 and a 90. We're turning them to the front, and we're going down to the floorboard, and we're going to come up here in front and have something like this. Here we're going to have a quick attach here for the loader is the plan. Get them both together so you can kind of see what we're going to do. We're going to put it right in this vicinity here. We're going to make a strap off that loader mount to come up anyway and mount him here. I think we might rethink that too once he gets up here and sees how close that is when the loader comes off. Anyway, so did you want to tighten those while you're there?
Yeah, you want, I think that's the 1 inch wrench.
1 inch?
Yeah.
Okay, let me get it. That is here.
Thank you.
It's kind of a tight fit in there. We had to employ a crow's foot wrench and all kinds of goodies to make this happen because it's kind of cozy in there. This tractor had an extra valve added. That's what these are. Someone added a second one. Most of these utility tractors come standard with one. The way we're plumbing it, we'd like to have one free. So if the loader is on, we could still have one free if we wanted to use the tedder or something else. We'd still have one available. Before they had one, the way this loader was plumbed before, one remote did the bucket, one remote did the boom. And we're doing a single stick where we only need one supply and one return. I'm gonna try to reuse that old bracket, at least part of it, for our new mount. Because that fits that quick attach coupler. Then we'll weld something to that to anchor to the tractor so it's good and solid.
Had a bit of a design change here.
We're using the... Why is that feel loose?
It's inch and an eighth. You got inch and 3/16.
Oh,
that box is a little funky.
I see that.
Yeah, you got to read the socket. Had a bit of a design change here. See, originally we were going to make a piece to come off of here to come up, but the problem is to drill and bolt that. If you see, there's a cross member here, and then there's this. You can't get a drill in there, and you can't get a drill in here. And I don't want this welded because this needs to be removable if we ever decide to change something here, or need a service, split the tractor, do a clutch, whatever. I don't want stuff welded solid. So anyways, we changed it. We're going to take a piece of 3-inch wide quarter strap and come straight up here. I'm going to use 2 bolt holes off of the frame mount here. And we'll then weld this part of that ear that was part of the original mount for that in the rear onto that and put a triangular gusset in the corner there to keep it from bending. But that's what we're doing. So Dad's working on pulling bolts out now. I've got a piece of 3-inch strap I just got done cutting, and got my holes marked now. So I'm going to go ahead and drill these out so we can get that bolted on there, and we can here pretty soon be running after hydraulic components.
Where are the bits? Am I looking in the right place?
The what?
Drill bits. There we go.
They're over here. Oh, up top there. I'm sorry. I didn't realize what you're referencing to.
Well, we're ready to start doing some serious hooking up.
Yeah, I want one cover.
When we get finished, I'll get some flangets or something else.
Yeah,
For the last
lock nuts and all that fun. Well, I guess one probably won't be lock nuts.
Is this a joystick or?
It does. They're both the same.
Oh, are they? Okay.
I think. Pretty sure.
I don't know. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that'd make it a little hard to get on and off.
Well, you want it moved because it can be moved right now. It can't be moved once I burn her in. I can shorten this.
I don't know. I like convenience too. I can get in here if I have to. Or we could shorten, you said we could shorten these just slightly. Or bend them just,
I wouldn't
touch.
shorten them. I'd just,
give them a little tweak.
you know, we could bend them up if they were up.
This one goes this way. This
Yeah,
way.
but it doesn't matter. It could be up and
Yeah. No, I don't see anything wrong with it.
okay. If you want it shortened, I mean, there's 6 inches of free space here that.
Well, then you're gonna be doing this.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, this is just, you know, originally we were talking about doing this, but that's out of the picture. But this is comfortable. I'm gonna let you try it and see what you think. I think it's comfortable myself. I want things comfortable. Spend enough of your life bent over streaming. You don't have to be doing that when you're running a loader. My arm's a little bit longer than yours.
Well, it's still, I mean, it's a little further of a reach for me, but it's not.
That would work with it, isn't that
Yeah,
nice?
when it's not wiggly wobbly because it's just
with a
tacked in
brace on it.
place.
Yeah,
But,
a brace on it will stiffen it.
yeah.
I think it's
if what I would probably do is I'd take the lower one and I'd bend it over a little
Yeah,
bit.
just a little
And
bit
it could
of
go up a little too
Yeah.
if wanted. And then that one probably again over, maybe up. These are just sent with the valve. We can make our own
yeah.
sticks if we want. But, I mean, that's just, I
But if
think
you
that's
just put-
3/8.
If you just put a little bend in them so they both match on top of each other, kind of.
Yeah.
It's just like this.
So the bottom one is going to be loader, raise up and down. So
Where's the bucket in the middle?
bucket is middle.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, so you want to do bucket first?
Yeah, and the bucket fittings are here.
Yep. So this needs to be,
Now that doesn't have to be an angle. That could be straight in there, couldn't it?
yeah, I could go straight in.
Okay, let me eliminate.
Now that's pipe. Just make sure you know that that's pipe thread.
Okay. So I'm gonna eliminate this angle here. This is pipe. Okay, now we need a length. From, I can't see what I'm doing. Just tell me where,
Right there. So I don't know which one's which, so we're just gonna have to.
just choose one. Let me have the end of the tape. Oops.
It's 34 inches
34?
straight to the fitting.
Okay, 34 on that one. And the next one was the bottom one, right? Am I on the right one? Yeah. They vary by 2 inches, but on there, they might end up the same. It'd be nice if we could do them the same.
Well, that's 32. So
32.
yeah, but if you want them the same, make them the same. But you're just gonna have to nickel them out there.
Let's make them the same for simplicity. Okay, so this is, what was it, short, no, long. Need a long one this time on the valve. Long angle, 34 inches. And pipe out here also. Pipe's good.
Well, this gets a little complicated, so we've been writing things down. If you've been listening along, I don't know how much we're going to put in because this was a long process figuring this out. But anyways, what we have to do, we have several things going on here. So according to this diagram here, the lowest spool here is the raise and lower of the boom. The center spool, well, it's actually the same spool, but we'll just call it spool. The center spool is the tilt of the bucket, the dump and so on and so forth. These are our feed and return lines. And then this is the third function, which is the grapple here, which is going to be for our third hydraulic option out front here to run a grapple or a grabber bucket, whatever you want to run. But anyway, so we have to account for everything here. We need to make new hoses to go to here, new hoses for the feed, the thing that's laying on the floor we haven't quite finished up yet, and then new hoses for the third function. So there's a lot going on here. It might be kind of confusing. We've got what we think we need written down. We're going to pack up, head out of here, and go get our parts before Parker closes. And then once we get back, we've got quite a bit of hydraulic work to do here. Well, we're doing this a little different. Originally, we were going to have some tall and some short 90s on the ends of the hoses here. And this is pipe thread, is what this valve is. This is JIC now. We've got these adapters in here that go from pipe to JIC. That made it a little bit easier as far as being able to get the right height of our 90s. So we switched everything down here on the loader over as well so we can have all JIC hoses. So basically that just made this a lot easier to where this valve can be, like you can take one hose off at a time because those 90s can swivel. If these were a shorter tall 90 that was threaded in, you'd have to, you can see how there'd be an issue here. You can't thread that one in and thread this one in. You'd have to turn it all at the same time. Well, that then becomes an issue here. You're going to start running into one another because as soon as this comes around, it's going to hit the upright portion of that 90 on this one. Same with that. And so it just made it easier to make these all straights. We're going to use JIC 90s that you can, swivel to where you want them, and then you'll have a wrench on the back that actually turns a nut that'll tighten that down onto here. So just kind of a logistical thing here to work out. We did the same down here. So now we're going to start working some hose in once we finish changing our feed down here.
So the big question is how many trips does it take to Parker Hydraulics to plumb a loader? We're up to 4. Yes, 4. We had to go get some more fittings. You think you thought of it all, you write it all down, and then you get home and it's like crap. But yep, we're up to 4. We got to go one more time because once we have all these marked and indicator marks on all the hoses as to which way all the elbows get turned, we have to go for crimping section, and we're hoping that the crimping session is tomorrow morning.
So it doesn't look, yeah, because those are going to be kind of like so.
They're going to end up in a bundle, I think.
Yeah,
that's all said and
probably
done.
going to be all. The only one that's going to be the odd man out
That one.
is this guy there. Now what are these?
These are bucket.
The bucket. Okay, so which one was which? The long
we're-
one's the top.
We aren't going to dope these now because they got to be crimped.
Yeah, I don't want to make
So,
a mess
okay.
of them. We're just going to.
Hold that and let me see if I can get one in there. These are swivels, are they? Yes. Stiff swivels. So now I need that ladder. I can see they're not that tall. Let's go on. Oh, let these green things out of here. Oops. Now you're like this. Okay.
All right, now
You want me to
these
get off?
are.
I'll get out of the way.
Okay.
Bucket.
We need to figure out which one of these is the raise and which one's the, well, curl, whatever. You know what I mean? We got to figure that out.
Okay, so
Let me get out here and look.
top line comes down here. I would assume the top line is rate or is
Bring back.
dump.
Dump. Top line is dump.
Yep.
So that's this one. So that goes. This is going to get a little hairy here. Really? That's dumb. Why would they have done that? Because them are flipped. Should have been the other way. I'm gonna have
Where
to.
you trying to
I'm gonna
go?
have to take that guy.
Switch them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that another one?
Yep. Where to put the vice grips?
No idea.
You're there.
Is there a wrench we can put on the end of that and just?
I don't know. It's coming.
We're sure this is right. Before I shove this in there.
Yeah, boy, that goes easy.
It's these ones. These
Them
the,
deep ones.
The deep ones are just.
Bigger.
Oh well. Now that I said that,
What, it went easy?
kind of. I'm starting to wonder how this is gonna pan out.
Well, do you want to go under that plate? Or is that a bad?
I'm trying to figure this out. I need you out of my way. You good? Just gonna have to take a siesta over there.
If you went down and then under here, is that an option? Which one do you have, the long one?
Yeah.
So you got the back one. Marks on all these elbows, so when they're crimped on the hoses, they're right. You can't twist hydraulic hose. So all these elbows have to be correct so that they're lined up right when we go to put them back on. Nothing's crimped. We got to go back to Parker again tomorrow morning.
Wayne let us take them without having them crimped so that we could get our orientations correct. Because this is kind of a complicated mess.
We're going to leave them set overnight so that we're sure that the paint dries.
And we did, since thankfully we didn't crimp these, we did find this fitting here is actually bad. It will only thread on about a half a thread, and if you take it off and look at it, there's a section of thread on the fitting that's flattened. So it got damaged in transit, so it needs
a new fitting
replaced. I think everything is, those are straight, so I'll mark them, but they're straight, so they don't matter.
And the ones on the far end of the remote don't matter either because those are going on straight.
Yeah, those are straights, and these are straights up here, I think, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
With swivels. They're good.
Well,
but all we can do now is zip tie some of that together underneath and put that shield back on, then put tools away.
Yeah.
That's as far as we can go. This is the big day. We got the hoses all crimped today. Yesterday we took them, well, we got them yesterday. We had to bring them home and put witness marks on them, meaning the fittings had to match up with the hose at the right angle before you crimp them. So you can't twist a hydraulic hose. So we did all that yesterday, and then this morning we took them down to Parker and had them crimped because we had them all marked. So now the exciting part is we get to put all this together. So here we have a sheet with some abbreviations as to what all these different things do, how long they are, if they have short or long elbows or straight fittings. Anyway, so this is the directions. So we'll see if we can figure out what goes where. And we'll start at the top like we did yesterday with the feed and return lines. And they both have short elbows. So I have to find, that's not it. This is one of them. And there should be one more with short elbows on both ends. You want to hold that?
Yep.
I got to find another one that has short on both ends.
There's a short there.
Yeah, but it has a straight on the other end.
Straight. It's a No, I want these in line though, because, yeah, I want it to be kind of natural.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're going to do their own thing for a little bit, I think. Mm-hmm. Well, we've temporarily used zip ties to hold these on coming up here. This is the third function that's being added to this. These are quick couplers to hook up to our grapples, whether it be the hay grabber or the tie grabber, or if we someday, I don't know, get a big grapple for our big square baler we purchased, which is probably something we'll end up getting very soon. So yeah, that'll be nice to have third function on here. That's why there's two sets of levers on that valve we put on here. The one is a joystick type operation, so you have your up, down, your curl and dump, or I should say dump and, yeah, dump and curl. I don't know how you want to phrase that, whatever. And then the second lever runs the added function here. So we'll make some nice nice mounts to go on here, very similar to this. What we actually might end up doing is just taking this one off and making it larger. So we'll just make it wide enough to clamp all 4 of them together in one run right there. We've got several places here we actually made marks going all the way back to the boom here. And we left a little slack there at the pivot point, so as this thing goes up and down, it can pivot as need be. Now in theory, you know, as this goes up, this distance back here should actually shrink, so it shouldn't need anything as far as lengthening, but we got some extra here we can choke up. It's just run down loosely along the boom right now, so we're gonna go quick get some hay together for a customer that's coming, grab some hydraulic oil because we lost a little bit in the process of switching things around here. So we're gonna get some more stuff around and be back to you here in a few minutes. Fingers clear. I think I went the wrong way. Things are trying. It's doing things. Yeah, we got some air to work out here. Well, got this project pretty well nearing the end here. Got the hydraulics plumbed, got everything working on this thing pretty slick. This hydraulic valve worked out pretty good. This thing's from Shoreline Parts. If you guys are in the market for a hydraulic valve for a loader, this thing's pretty sweet. I'm not sponsored by them on anything, but it is pretty nice, so you guys check that out if you want one. This thing is a 2,500 PSI pressure relief. It's 12 gallon a minute is what this valve system is rated for. That's exactly what this tractor is. It's 2,500 PSI pressure relief, and it's a 12 gallon a minute system, so it's just perfect match for this thing. It's going to work out pretty slick. Going to be using this thing quite a bit moving into the 2024 season. Obviously going to use this for, well, a lot of hay work, I suppose. We've got our tie grabber bucket, our grabber bucket, and then we also are probably going to be getting a squeeze bucket for running on our big square baler that we purchased this fall. So it's going to be pretty slick. We're going to go ahead and do a couple more things here yet before it's all said and done. Going to build a mount here for our auxiliary hydraulics, build some clamps for our hydraulic lines that run back the boom. Going to build a quick attach setup for this thing so we can remove the pin-on style buckets and go ahead and switch over to hook up to every bucket that we currently have in our ownership that fits everything else, our case skid steers and such. And hopefully at that point in time it should fit just about any quick attach type bucket that's in current production, so it'll be pretty slick. But hope you guys aren't too bored with this project. I know it's been kind of like we've focused on this a lot here. We've kind of been hammering on this thing. Anytime we get a spare second, we've been hammering on it. Winter is kind of quickly coming to an end here. I mean, I know there's still some time yet, but it's February. You know, not quite. A couple days, it'll be February. got a lot to finish up. I've got the Polar to finish up. I still got a lot to do on that. My motor's not in it. My driveline system's half in there right now. Primary and secondary hitches are about finished right now. Probably do some filming on some of that here soon. I don't know if any of you guys are interested in that. I've posted about that before, and some guys have commented they'd be interested in it, and I don't know. I guess it's something to just kind of keep off the side. This is a farm channel. I don't know what you guys are really interested in. If that's something you're interested in or not. Maybe I'll do some videoing on it. But there's some stuff I can't film, you know, because it's patented stuff. Like my driveline system, I can't film too much of because that's a patent protected system that I can't do a lot of filming with. And then my hitches, I obviously don't want to tell my competition, hey, this is what I got. So I don't know, we'll film some here soon, but I think I'm gonna end this video out. It's probably quite long. I apologize for that, but it's kind of hard to squeeze a lot of this stuff into a 15-minute clip or even a 20-minute clip. I think this video is probably gonna be over 30 minutes at this point in time, but yeah, it's coming along nice. I think it'll make a nice addition to the fleet. Another, you know, horse in the stable to go to work, but yeah, she needs a paint job. That's coming, hopefully this spring here. But first things first, we got to prove our concept here, make sure everything does what we want it to do. I think it should work, but obviously going to do some beta testing with it here before we go ahead and spray her all nice and pretty. But yeah, well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Hope you guys liked it. Hope it turned out good. And I'd like to thank you for watching. God bless, and I hope I can see you guys on the next one.
Doing that to us, don't huh?
Shut it off, we're cutting that all out.